The first strategist begins. This intelligence comes from one of our spies embedded within the demonic cult's territory. The Blade Lord, current leader of the Blade God 6 martial clan, has taken part of his forces and headed west toward Napsol in Tibet. And as some of the masters here may already know, another detachment of their forces was sent north in pursuit of the dragon turtle. Huaman was furious and said, "Then the deployment of our expeditionary force to the northern sea was because Urea." After consolidating all the gathered intelligence, I have come to a realization. Their ambition is not limited to conquering the central plains. He concludes that the Blade God 6 martial clan seeks to kill the sacred beasts themselves, those dwelling within the Imperial Palace, in the Northern Sea, and in the North Sea Ice Palace as well. The present situation with the sacred beasts is just like when the demonic cult coveted the blood of the Fire Island, a treasure of the Empire. A man pulls out a book, and some recognize it as a true scripture. They ask, "Commander Yu, why this book?" He replies, as Grandmaster Geikin said, "The Blade God 6 martial clan is after the sacred beasts. More specifically, they seek the true essence contained within these sacred beasts." Hanwha asks, "True essence? Do you mean to say they want a sudden surge in internal power?" Yu answers, "No. Honestly, I thought it was just a legend mentioned in the scriptures, but it seems they are truly after the 5 spirit beasts." Another person asks, "What are you trying to say? This is frustrating." He responds, "Everyone, please look here." He opens the book and says, "It's exactly as written in the scripture of the heavenly demon. Whoever obtains the true essence of the 5 spirit beasts shall achieve immortality." Another asks, "Commander Yu, immortality? Could it be the same immortality sought by the first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, emperor in ancient times?" Leader Yaimog responds, "It's natural for many lords to find this hard to believe. However, the crucial point is not immortality itself." He continues, "According to the information gathered by Commander Yu and Master Make, our alliance can use this to decisively turn the tables on them." Commander Yu pulls 5 pieces from his sleeve, each corresponding to positions on the map. "Mark Chariot, King, Upright, Earth," he explains. "From now on, our alliance will launch an all-out campaign for the future of the orthodox martial world." Everyone is shocked. First Master Mu Geqian thinks, was this why the Western commander, First Master Hang Yan, was called? But if he leaves the front lines, won't it be difficult to counter the unorthodox faction? Commander Yu continues, "Right now, the unorthodox faction is in chaos due to ongoing internal strife." A council of war convened in the Grand Hall, the air thick with unspoken tension. The recent victory against the formidable dragon turtle had come at a great cost, and a new, more terrifying threat loomed on the horizon. The all-out campaign must be launched at this moment, a high-ranking official declared, his voice echoing through the chamber. However, Wen Jing, a renowned martial master, spoke up, his expression grave. "That's not everything. The true essence of the dragon turtle has fallen into the hands of the Blade God." A wave of shock rippled through the assembled masters. "How could this be?" Wei exclaimed, his voice laced with disbelief. Commander Yun Nanban of the Imperial Guard, his face grim, replied, "The all-out campaign I mentioned earlier is to prevent that." Another master, his brow furrowed with worry, questioned, "What do you mean? If that monster already possesses the true essence, how could we possibly stop it?" Commander Yun Nangan's gaze swept across the room. "It's not over yet. I don't know if other sacred beasts truly exist. However, there is an interesting legend regarding Chai Mountain." A hopeful murmur spread through the hall. "Could it be there is a sacred beast on Chai Mountain?" Someone asked. "Exactly." Commander Yun Nanban confirmed. "The Wind White Tiger. According to the ancient scriptures, one of the 5 divine spirits, the sacred beast known as the Wind White Tiger, resides on Chai Mountain." The abbot of the Shaolin Temple, his voice a steady presence in the tense atmosphere, added, "If the White Tiger truly is a sacred beast, it may be our only hope. It must also possess a true essence." And as the commander said, the Blade God 6 martial clan or the demonic cult would very likely target it. Great Guardian Merakim continues, "From now on, our alliance will split into 2 forces and head toward the enemy bases marked on the map, Honjo and Chongai Mountain." On the map, a king represents the Blade God 6 martial clan's forces fleeing to Napso in the western regions. A chariot marks the demonic cult's forces in the northern sea. While the Great Guardian explains, Xian Yeo Wen begins to think of Master Zhang. He recalls the moment when he held his decapitated head, and thanks, Lord Yang Danhua, who dreamed of the blue sky. "Your death has become the spark for a great flame for the greater good." The scene shifts to the northern Great Plains. Hubong is amazed to see his new weapon and asks, "Is this really mine?" Excitedly, Hubong says, "Can I really use it?" Dan Juchun, leader of the North Sea Ice Palace, responds, "Weren't you pestering me to try it out?" Hu Bong steps inside and says, "Oh, the inside is really cool, too." Dan Juchun thinks Xian Yo-woon has reached the unrestrained realm, comparable to an elder or a sect master. Yes, why does he act like a mere apprentice? He turns to him and asks, "Do you need one as well?" Xian Yo-woon answers, "I'm fine. More importantly, it would be good if we could give one to the cult leader as a gift." Dan Juchun says, "Now that I think about it, the Lord isn't here." Xian Yo-woon answers, "He's probably with the former Lord." Dan Juchun asks, "Are the two of them training again?" He responds, "Of course, they are." We then see Xian Yo-woon with his grandfather, Xian Inji, before a rocky wall with a fire lit. His grandfather strikes the wall using the fourth form of the Sky Demon sword art. He strikes several points and after a few seconds, the wall collapses. Xian Yo-woo's grandfather praises him, saying, "Excellent, grandfather. You've flawlessly executed the fourth form of the Heavenly Demon sword technique." His grandfather turns, laughs, and replies, "It's all thanks to you, Xian Yo-woon. Just knowing the Qi circulation technique grants such power." He thinks to himself, the Qi circulation technique I painstakingly developed seems trivial in comparison to this. Is it true that the Heavenly Demon Patriarch was a genius to have created this? It would have been ideal to cultivate inner power with the Heavenly Demon sword technique instead of the reverse muscle classic, but unfortunately, I can't convert my inner power immediately. What a shame. Xian Yo-woon asks, "Grandfather, will you practice the fifth form as well?" He answers, "No. Even with a perfect theoretical understanding, the fifth form is harder to master than I expected. Merging all sword techniques into one unified form is not easy." He then says, "Yo-woon, I'm grateful to you, but I also feel sorry." Xian Yo-woon replies, "Not at all, Supreme Grandmaster. It's only natural for you to learn the Heavenly Demon sword technique." His grandfather says, "Even so, the fact that this old man is learning our sect's greatest martial art." Xian Yo-woon replies, "But it's not the absolute best." He thinks, "I do not wish to hide the truth from grandfather after all the years he sacrificed for the sect." His grandfather asks, "What do you mean the Heavenly Demon sword technique is not the best?" Xian Yo-woon explains, "On the cliff of Broken Sword Valley, the Heavenly Demon Patriarch left behind an unfinished sword manual." His grandfather is surprised, and Xian Yo-woon continues, "It would be better if you see it for yourself." He Li Tai releases his power, and summons his sword. His grandfather, seeing this, thinks the sword paths traverse directions that are impossible for a human body to execute. How can such a sword manual exist? And it seems as though the Heavenly Demon sword technique and extreme divine martial arts are mixed together. Xian Yo-woon strikes the wall with his devastating power. His grandfather is shocked and says, "This can't be. This is what the founding patriarch created. An incomplete sword technique." We see that Xian Yo-woon has made a huge hole in the wall, completely destroying it. He then says, "Strictly speaking, even the founding Heavenly Demon Patriarch gave up on completing this sword technique. It is explained that in the future, no one except the demon god, Xian Yo-woon, will be able to master it." Xian Yo-woon says, "I have named it the Demon God Sword Technique. It is the moment the legendary sword technique makes its first appearance here in the northern Great Plains.